YouTube, what's going on? It's T90. Thanks for watching. This is a very, very unique video. In fact, I can't believe I'm uploading this. But back in the day, I think it was 2016, 2017, there was a game. It was 2v2 Arena or 2v2 Fortress. And it was a team game. And one person, who is Teutons have very cheap farms, walked over to the Allies' base and placed some farms. And you can actually steal, or I guess borrow or use, the farms that your allies pay for and build. It's a little janky, but I wanted to test this in a more unique sense, and I played 6 games trying this strategy. Now, I tried many of these games and it failed, all right? I was trying to work on it, fine-tune it. It's really messy, so expect some T90 farms. But before we get into it too crazy, I just want to point out who myself and Termint, longtime follower, very nice guy, it was up against. Okay, Termint is a 13 or 1400 player. I hope I'm not lower than his actual rating with that, but I believe that's where he's at. Okay, and then myself, 2K 1v1s. Here you have Nick, about 2K 1v1s. One of the best players in the United Kingdom, just was playing in the 2v2 World Cup to give you perspective. Teamed up with Supreme Leader, who is 8th Wonder, formerly top 8 player in the world, who nowadays just chills and plays team games. Wonder and Nick have been playing together for half a decade. So, not only is it Wonder and Nick, but Wonder has gone Britons, and Nick has gone Slavs. So it's that scout archer meta you're seeing a lot. So they're going full tryhard here. And 2 games ago, we met them, and I tried it with somebody else, all right? So I messaged Termint and I said, hey, I want to try this out. And he's like, sure, let's do it. First time we're trying it, and it's going to be a messy game. But the idea is you can get the most ridiculous castle time. And it's not just the castle time that makes it exciting. It is how you have the food to make knights. So here's the build order. Again, this is janky. You can do it by chopping straggler trees, since Khmer don't need to build the prerequisite buildings. You don't actually need to go mining camp, mill, lumber camp, or any of those things at all to go fast castle. The only thing you'll need is to mine gold, which should require a mining camp. But I went 1 on wood, and then everything on food. And I just told Termint, you're going to see our discussion, because this is a recorded game. And I told Termint to send the villager and start placing the farms around 16 to 17 population. Because the idea here is that I click up to feudal age on 20 population, which is a build order that normally takes you for the fastest scouts, right? Not knights. Yeah, so I go 20 pop, and then I go straight up to castle age right after that. So let's see what happens. But again, 2 games ago, Nick and Supreme Leader here, 8th Wonder, they did win against this strategy, and so they saw what I was going for, which I think makes it all the more interesting that they kind of know what to expect here. All right, so there's a couple tips with this. You don't want the farm builder to fully build the farm. You just need a little tap. What do you do, Termint? You're eating my food. Yeah. I didn't notice that. Termint's eating my food. I need that food. Termint says sec, no mill. Okay, there's the mill. All right. Now watch. Termint did a pretty good job with this. It's hard to pay attention to it when you're doing everything else at home. But there. That's good. Now stop. Right? So I immediately start like spam clicking the farms with individual villagers. And yeah, if you do it right, I can actually take the farms. This is called farm sling. Okay? It's really janky. It's not easy to be the Khmer player, where you have to constantly click the farms and hope they register. Not easy to be the Teuton player either. But as you can see, all these farms that I'm now farming, I did not have to place myself. That's a lot of food coming in here. See how this one was partially built up to around 50%? It's really tough for me to take that one. So this is with the most recent patch, right? So Khmer farm rates were actually slowed down recently. I was wondering what would be possible with this many months ago. But I like Khmer for this because the farms are going to be randomly placed and you don't want to have to drop them off. So I say perfect, and here I am on the way to the next stage. This is an uptime that would normally take you to scouts, as I said before. And you have Nick over here. And Nick, what happened, actually? Nick should have clicked up by now. Nick is working on walling up. Over here on this side, you have Supreme Leader, and you have a Drush coming in. And this is full-on meta try-hard Drush Fast Castle. Poor Tremint says, what do I do now? That's the thing. Like, Tremint just needs to stay safe now. And look at my food. I'm going to focus on my resources just to show you how cool this can be. Just have a few on wood. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to click up to Castle Age right away. The food was too slow. So I'd need to test this more. But this is still looking really good, right? And I think this works best with Khmer. I just killed Nick's scout. I think this works best with Khmer because of the fact that Khmer can go... they don't need to build the blacksmith and the market and the stable, all that good stuff to go up to Castle Age. So it's the farms. In fact, you don't have to build the buildings. Yeah, these farms are much slower than they were a month ago. I think it's pretty good, actually. I think Khmer were a little too OP. So you don't need to collect wood to reseed your farms. There's an embarrassing moment coming up, by the way. I'll show you. And so this time could be significantly faster. But at the time Nick arrives in Feudal, I'm going to be on my way to Castle Age. Just lost my scout. Nick has gone 22 population. It's actually 23 pop, essentially. This is a heavy eco build. Get your eco upgrades. But it would have been 23 pop if his scout was still around. So yeah, it is on the slower side. Over here, I think Termint's taken some losses. Termint might have lost a villager already. And Termint, I mean, the eco's all over the place, right? Termint trying to wall up, and now it's had to quick wall. You got idols here, idle everywhere. But, again, the idea is that I should be able to carry the team. I had not researched Loom at this point. I'm halfway to Castle Age. I'm making my stable. You have Nick. Nick is farming away. And I'm unsure when we discuss it, but at some point we discuss the strategy I'm going for. Okay, no, Nick would know. Look at this. Yeah, I don't know if that's a spec bug, but I think Nick would know if he scouted all that we're going farm sling again. Like I said, we had just recently done that. Now, I don't have Loom yet. I have a 4 HP farmer here. And this is embarrassing. I heard her scream out as I'm trying to click villagers to the farms, and it's not working. Like I said, it's really, really not easy. I heard her scream, and I was like, what just happened? And I'm like, oh no, there's a spearman here. Termint is so about the wall part. Termint's having some problems. I'm sorry, Termint. But thanks for being a bro and giving me your farms. At 13 minutes, I'm in Castle Age, and it's not just 13 minutes getting to Castle Age. It's 13 minutes getting to Castle Age with the eco to make knights with upgrades. I already have bloodlines. And so, meanwhile, you have Supreme Leader, aka Wonder. We'll add a range and a blacksmith, most likely. Yep, range blacksmith. This is a fast castle build. Like, these are all normal times. Nick could have been faster to the next stage. There I am fighting off the scouts. Nick trying to be annoying. Like, Nick could have had a faster scout time and maybe pressured me a bit more. But what also is nice about Khmer is how he can hide in houses. Honestly, is Termint is building more farms. Like, these are all the farms that are still Termint. He's building them too much now, so it's almost impossible for me to get them. But yeah, anywho, I'm just making the knights. I'm thinking I need to kill fast. You look at Nick farming away with slabs. One of the fastest farming civs is walling up. One of the best counters to this. Termint says there might be a drush on me. I thought about sending some help to Termint, but truthfully, as much as I love the guy, I don't think it'd be a very wise move. I think you have to kill them fast, right? Because this is not something that's super reliable. I have quite a few farmers working right now. And I'm adding a blacksmith because I do feel the need to get some upgrades. Bloodlines is nice and all, but I think getting scale barding and then chain barding is important if he's going to be going for spearmen. And I have seen that he's going for spearmen. Nick probably telling his teammate everything's good. His 8th Wonder's on the way to Castle Age. Won't be the fastest time he's ever achieved, but enough to get the crossbows, enough to add TCs, enough to do very well. Like, Termint's Feudal Age offering nothing right now and still struggling against the Drush, right? Yeah, I told you it's going to be super messy, but I'm like, all right, I've got to do damage against someone. When we lost to Nick and Supreme Leader, I was actually with a guy named Dobbs, who's 2K rated top 100 player. And I was making the farms for Dobbs. But it was on Lombardia, and they were Burmese and Spanish, and they just stonewalled. Stonewalled into unique units, and then Knights just died to Arambai and Conk. So that situation's different because that map is very closed off. Arabia's a bit more open. But also at the same time, it does take some guts, I think, to try it on Arabia. But I don't know what level you're at, YouTube, but this is a strategy that might work out for you guys if you test it at your level, because very rarely are people able to fast castle at 1750 after a drush. Very rarely are they able to full wall themselves. Now, Nick has made what I consider to be a really poor thing. A good decision for him, poor thing for me. The fact that he's staying in feudal and making a bunch of spears. Because I didn't have a lot on wood. I'm starting to send more to wood, so I'm thinking I need siege now. And I'm like, well, that's not part of the plan. I'm supposed to kill everything with knights. Also smart thinking from Wonder, who has crossbows and bodkin, but hasn't pushed out. Now you have Nick heading over to poor Termint's base. I told Termint just stay alive, and if the game continues, just boom, and then we'll take it from there. Unfortunately, again, I'm relying on only the farms from Termint. So you guys don't realize it, but you have to constantly click, you know. And I say, come out, cowards. They like to banter back and forth as well. Wonder says, make me. I mean, he says, make me noob. So now the pressure's on, right? Now I really got to kill him. And Nick says, farm sling OP. And I says, I asked nicely, is that not enough? Come on. And Wonder says, no. So Wonder's staying at home, and Knights cannot break through house walls and palisade walls. So he's just camping, adding the second TC. And there's full stone walls over here for Nick. Wonder says, I'm not a nice guy, you know it. And that's true, I do. Wonder. I do, and now I'm adding scorpions. Now, it will continue to get messy for me. I thought about maybe using this food eco to add a second TC and boom. But what's the point of that when my teammate's not going to offer anything with military? So I'm thinking I need to kill fast, and now that I have some scorpions, maybe I can engage against spearmen before they're pikemen. And here are all the spearmen for Nick, who's got 14 on food, plenty on stone, and just stonewalling up and probably feeling pretty safe right now. So I felt like scorpions, some rams, and knights, and instead of investing food, instead of investing food into going for villagers, I'm going to invest food into a lot of knights, and that chain barding upgrade, I think I clicked shortly. I played this game last week. Yeah, big thing here is he can't repair now. He can't wall behind. And Nick's starting to add some stone walls now, so definitely have him panicking a little bit. I think with any civ doing this, you want to add scorpions over mangonels because you're able to snipe those vills, and it's also better against these spearmen. We got some elephantos. And still creating villagers out of that TC. I am behind in vills. I'm adding elephants because I feel like they're going to pack a bit more of a punch. I really want to break through. Nick now is getting pikemen. And so, yeah, guys, you have 8th Wonder moving over. And these are fantastic team game players. Termint's going to die. And Termint says, I said just defend. And he says, found him. He's like, yep. Sorry, Termint. Termint's in castle, and we'll just add TCs, I guess, to stay alive. Now, big fight over here. The thing you have to remember with knights and or elephants against pikemen. Yes, pikes are the counter, but there's also a lot more HP and a lot more attack on knights and elephants. So if you have more numbers and you have upgrades and a few scorpions as well, you could be in a good spot. Now, big thing that Nick's going to need is he's going to need food eco. And he's actually panicking pretty hard here. I didn't watch his point of view. He doesn't have a lot on food. And he's only at 5 pikemen right now. Now, in a normal game, I would probably be less hesitant, more hesitant about running underneath town centers. But I knew I needed to kill fast or this was over, because Termint was going to die. So I come in here with Rams, and the second I see that Mangonel, I'm gonna take that out. I don't have armor yet. It's an upgrade I'll need to fight underneath town centers, but I know I need to kill and do damage quickly. Certainly has not been easy. Look at my eco. Torment's just still placing farms for me. Torment is an absolute bro. And Torment says, so my base is in something of a lockdown. So Torment's keeping me updated. Having a real rough time over there. But fortunately for the team, Nick is also having a rough time. And I've been able to do some real damage. You know, there's villagers inside of this town center. And having lost with this strategy before, after being walled out, I was really feeling good about this situation right now. Now, this is something that's important. Because one thing that you could do, and I'm going to get back to playing the game in a second. One thing you could do to back this up, to make it stupid strong, is after I get to Castle Age, have the Feudal Age player Torment send me all of his resources. Like, then he's sending me hundreds of food and gold. Then that could just end the game, right? That's even more potent than normal sling. But I said to Torment, let's not do that, as his base is definitely in a lockdown, because we know that regular sling is strong. There's a reason it's banned in tournaments. Let's just try the farms. So that was actually Supreme Leader sending resources to Nick. So they're slinging to keep Nick in this with some type of military, and you can hear it here. Wood and food. He's sending wood and food over to Nick so he can get barracks and make pikemen. There's a lot of farms here that he can no longer use. Nick is going to start to relocate, and this is where I started thinking, especially based on the score, we could actually do something here. If Torment dies, and that's a nice TC as he's trying to survive, and Nick dies, this becomes a 1v1. Maybe I can do something. So, I'm getting chain barding now. You'll notice my queue. I have started to add town centers to create more vills. It's really messy. And the awkward thing about doing this, if you ever try it, is you build up to this point not needing to have resources like wood. Now you have to start transferring to wood. You could consider going auto farm, those types of things, but you need wood. So the whole eco changes at this point. I'm trying to chop away. Yeah, I've got 3 stables. They're all queued with knights. I have chain barding. Almost full upgrade, right? Just missing that attack upgrade. And I've eaten 2 TCs. Nick is down to 19 villagers. So Torment's actually doing okay. I said, are you okay? I clean. I guess it was because these crossbows were signaled. And it's actually hilarious how Wonder's shooting the farms. Torment says, whoever leaves the TC gets an arrow to the face. I'll be honest. I didn't read half of what he was saying because I was moving around so much. Like I'm clicking farms randomly. I'm spamming knights. I was really focused. I really wanted this to work because, you know, I think it's something that could work pretty decently at the mid-level, but at high levels against players who've already seen the strategy, already beaten us, I just didn't have a lot of confidence with it. Big thing here, Supreme Leader. Starting to mix in pikemen. Has a lot of eco, right? My Vil count, 55 at 73 for Supreme Leader. Now, there is a concern for Supreme Leader, and that's the lack of mobility. So my goal here was to keep him on the move a bit. He can't just run away with an army if I spot it. It's pretty much going to get cleaned up unless it's too strong for me to fight in the first place. As I clear that, and now we have Nick coming all the way over here. I mean, Nick is in full relocation mode. And I'm waiting to see what Supreme Leader is going to do. And for Supreme Leader, it's going to be pikeman and crossbow. Very good move. Now look how freaking messy this is. I feel like this style almost suits me because my farms are already quite bad. So, you know, you use Khmer and then someone else places your farms. It's like twice as hectic. I'm curious if Nick has to rebuild a market because I thought, let's take out his market. But the strategy's kind of working. I've got 26 military. A lot of that military's knights. I've got knights over here. I've got knights over here. I've got knights here, and that's a good fight for me. Knights still attacking these little farms. And if you look at my point of view, I only have 23 on food. But I have a lot of Vild skewed and a lot of knights queued. And since it's all going to be about food eco, as now Termin starts to add some more farms. Let's go, Termin. 56 villagers. Nick's only at 28. But you watch when I try and click these. You see how it doesn't work sometimes? It's so tough. I'm telling you, if you try this, it's brutal, especially in Castle Age. But yeah, anyways, Termin's being a bro. Termin's actually doing a good job at trying to boom. Has more farms than I do right now. Again, if there were to be Sling at this point, it'd be very, very strong. But we already know that Sling at this point is really strong. If Termin sent me resources, I could just go imp and win the game. That's cheating. Right? I didn't want that. So I wanted to get into a winning position. Oh boy, I don't have wood. All the farms, no. I wanted to get to a winning position with just the farm sling. So I think we've accomplished that at this point. Now it just becomes a brutal game, and you have Supreme Leader on the way up. But if you're watching at this point of the video, I'm really curious in your thoughts on this. And I'm curious if maybe there's some situations this would shine over Arabia. I was thinking Arena, right? Because Khmer Teutons isn't the worst combo for Arena. And I feel like you can give Khmer a 12-minute castle time. And then instead of making the stable and the blacksmith, you just make a TC. And then Khmer could have the most ridiculous boom ever. Termain says, do you need to click them one by one? Yes, look at this. It's not just one click. Like, you have to really spam click it sometimes. I think if I were to play this again, what I would do, because I'm now getting horse color, is I would have auto farm queued a little bit earlier. I'm taking a very nice fight here. But not only that, I think the big thing would be send more villagers to wood. Send all my new villagers to wood. That way, when auto farm is needed, I reseed those farms. Like, all these farms should never have expired. I think he's placed more. I'm adding more myself. That was the other thing. I could have actually added my own farms, but I was getting used to using my allies' farms. So yeah, I do have the eco lead now, 85, and lots of military here. Scorpions, Knights, really doing work. I'm just everywhere, and it's amazing how fast that food income flies with Khmer when the farms are messy. Mint over here is making rams and scorpions, so is contributing. At this point, as far as the team goes, we're way ahead with population. We are winning this game with this strategy. I just saw that 8th Wonder was an imp, and Arbalest with Bracer is really tough for me to engage against. So I kind of felt the need to take a fight here. And I do have more knights, so I'm going to win this fight. And I'm thinking, I can't allow Nick to reboom. The more Nick cries and screams and yells for 8th Wonder to save him, the more that 8th Wonder's not killing my guy. So I think that actually is happening now. Because 8th Wonder's sending Arbs over. So yeah, that was the goal. And at the same time, get my eco right. Make sure my Vil count is above 110, 120. Make sure the farm count's above 60. That's the goal for me when I play with Cav Civs. Look how messy this is. And Termint did send me some res to take me imp here. So if this breaks the rules, maybe it does. I don't know. I feel like it's a win as far as the testing goes to make it this far. But yep, I figured, oh, you know what? I've lost 5 in a row trying this all day. Give me some reasons. Give me a little bit. So Termint is going to send me a few resources to get me imp. I wonder if it was really needed, though. You look at that food count for me. It's a lot of Arbalest. I'm losing so much. Yeah, I'm denying Nick's reboom. That's the big thing here. Termint's got solid economy. Termint actually has the most villagers in the game. I forget how many resources end up coming in, but I think it's the gold I really need. Keep in mind, Nick can't take his resources in his own base right now. And yeah, woo! That's pretty much Imperial and then some. Now I'm on my way to Imp. So now I just wanted to freaking win, right? I was called a noob by the opposition. I just wanted to get a win here. 36 Vils for Nick. And not have his best game here. I'm proud that I played a part in that. Oh, this is a good fight, I think. 1490. Oh, yeah. My goodness. My goodness. Those Arbalests not using their range there at all. And massive fight for us. Again, that's a fight that would have happened without receiving those resources. But then again, you got a Halberdier on the way. Halberdier is going to be a tough thing. Now, if you follow team games, the really important thing you need to have at around 45 minutes is corner control. And so, at this stage, as I'm building a mining camp over here, we pretty much have this corner. We certainly have the northern corner. This corner we don't have, but if I'm able to secure the southern corner, even for just the next 10 minutes, and my team can add trade, then I figured we'll be in a good spot, right? You look at what Wonder's doing now. Wonder's starting to push my teammate a little. Wonder making arbs, Wonder making halbs. Not the most convincing, but lots of areas to focus on. And I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to counter this because Scorpions are quite slow, and it doesn't feel like I have the best economy. I guess I have 17 idols, and they're all around on the farms. At this point, it's unrealistic for me to click all these farms and have it work, so I should be adding my own, but looking to hold to this hill. And Sir Minces, are you going to cry if I go full Scorpions? I don't think I responded to this. Oh, no, I said no, as in I wouldn't cry. That's what it was. Go for it. Because I felt like Scorpions would be pretty good, because Halbs is the one thing I was worried about. And he says, okay, I go something else then. I saw that, I didn't respond. Fortunately, he ends up making quite a few Scorpions. Alright, so I'm attacking the light cap. I figured if I don't have golds, I can just go Hussar. And it is 52 military for Supreme Leader, aka Wonder. Armor coming in. Soon full upgrades on these Halberdiers. Nick just playing Nomad at this point. Rebooming. TC's in the south. TC in the west. And that's unfortunate. I really wanted that relic. Not going to get that one. And not a fight I should take. I think I took this fight, actually. I thought I had the hill and the upgrades would be coming in. But this is still Castle Age upgrades. This is horrible. Horrible. And yep, I end up backing away. And we're kind of losing right now. Which is a shame, you know. I really wanted to get a win with this. Especially against players who are so good. To show that it was possible. I do have markets going up now. I figured this is going late game. And I know Wonder and Nick pretty well. They're not the type to resign in messy games. They're going to play on for a while. We have a castle now on this hill. Termint has Scorpions here. Termint's on the way to Imperial, so not contributing too much. And I really needed an answer for this. I didn't think I had an answer for that. I have 23 military. Termint has 21. But look at the Scorpions from Termint. I love it. The Teuton player going Scorpions. Now, actually, if you get Ironclad, your Scorpions have more melee armor. That's what's funny about this. So, you actually get a bonus that would apply here because of that Ironclad upgrade. Kind of unlikely that Britons would go for anything but Arbs and Halb in this situation. It's not like they'll switch into Onager in a team game, so... This is what I love about Khmer. The fact that you can mindlessly reboom. Lose farms, add them anywhere, you know? It's completely mindless. Look at the Scorpions go! I wasn't paying attention to this when I was playing. 20 of them. Holy moly, shkamoly boly. Oh! It's actually doing wonders here. For lack of a better term. But the Arbs do have so much more range right now. Felt like I could maybe pounce on this with my Cav, but still good micro. And yeah, it's messy. I'm investing into trade, though. We're going to try and take this late game. Maybe I can eventually get to Elephants and Heavy Scorpions myself. Scorpions certainly saving the day right there, though. Siege Engineers on the way. And also Heavy Scorpion on the way. So, the important thing for me, I made a stable down here, and I think I still had this stable. Yeah, important thing for me was deny that corner from Wonder Nick. So just raid. Here also sent a Cavalier to the corner, right? Denying the trade. Look at my markets. They're not all queued now, but hopefully soon I'll queue up some trade cards. That's the idea. Especially because Nick doesn't have his gold here, and I still have a few units around there. But I wasn't paying close attention to it. As long as they don't have trade and they don't have gold, then we can win. And post-imp, Britons Well, they make Arbalests, probably. Maybe Longbows. Teutons can go Siege Onager. Khmer can go Elephants, Scorpions. Suppose Slavs are really a threat to all of that. But yeah, the Slav player's in a very weak spot. So, just as crazy and messy as my boom is, if you can call it that. If you could call this a boom. I am spamming units out of random stables. So I'm just toggling through, producing here. I'm going to save up. I'm going to send in and just doing my best there. 30 Scorpions for Torment, who, win or lose for our team, will be the MVP because I would have never been able to kill Nick without Torment's farms. And these Scorpions are insane. Now, they could all get focused down, but still, you're looking at 9 range there. I suppose the Ironclad upgrade isn't going to help too much against ranged units. It only helps against melee units, but still, it's cool. 69 farms now. Very nice. Like I'm pop-capped, but trade is coming out ever so slowly. It's 91 gold a trip. I'll take it. And yeah, whatever I could do to be annoying. Like, do you ever think that you have an area locked down and then a few units arrive and be annoyed by that? I wanted to be that guy. This Cavalier patrolling, he's going to find whatever market eventually goes up. Just wanted to be as frustrating as possible. And while I do this, invest into the future. That Ram doesn't do much, right? But, this Cavalier sniping a villager, I'm just being a pain. It's actually really satisfying to rewatch the raids because at the time I was just moving a mile a minute. 15 Hussars queued out of one stable. That's a bit extreme. But sending it to the corner where I have heavy focus on both sides now. Now, the KD is not going to be pretty for me going forward if I continue to play like this. But especially since I'm not investing any gold into these raids, it's not bad. Termin is here, and you have Supreme Leader thinking about Onager. Nick's trying to stonewall this up so they can secure that little side. Didn't see this. I had this unit patrolling on those resources, and I'm a bit bummed that maybe I didn't do more damage there, but... Oh! Oh my goodness, that's so satisfying. Oh, get the Arbs. Get the Arbs, Tremint. Do it for YouTube. Actually, he could lose a lot of Scorpions here in a second. Actually, I wonder how much damage a Maganel does. Onager would flatten a lot of these, but oops. Wonder's Gather Point isn't set. Oh, okay, that's still pretty good. That is still pretty good, and I think he'll get another shot off here in a second. Oh! Oof. Okay, so he lost a few more. My resources are looking fantastic. My queue's looking fantastic. I didn't intentionally stay on 69 farms, I promise you. And Torment doing the same thing is actually teching into Siege Onager, or Onager. Eventually Siege Onager. I think that Scorpion Elephant just cannot be stopped in general. If I were to ever get to Elephant. Also think Siege Ram is needed. That's something I would have to do because Teutons do not get that. But yeah, guys. I realized right here, we're winning this game. This is going to be a win for us. The farm sling is actually working on Arabia against high-level players. Torment, yeah, not trying to undersell the guy. Not trying to be rude to the guy. He's been a beast here, but his 1v1 rate, nowhere near the 1v1 rate of Supreme Leader and Nick. 8th Wonder was, there was an event, I think in Maldives, only the top 8 went. It was a land back in the day, like 5 years ago. He was in the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. Just to give you an idea. Like, obviously, he's not quite there now, but former top 10 player and current top 100 player and competitor in the 2v2 World Cup. And this strategy has actually worked out. I don't know why I have a Ballista Elephant. But I say I go Elephants now because I'm feeling like my eco's looking good. And it's quite obvious to me that Supreme Leader and Nick, they just don't want to give up. They don't want to lose to this strategy. I don't really blame them. It's got to feel really cheap to have someone be able to do the amount of damage I was able to do, but I think this is a genuine strat, guys. This is no joke. Absolutely no joke. And I think partnering it with Khmer is the best. But regular farm sling isn't the worst on in other situations. Like, I think on Arabia, you probably want to partner with Khmer. Mint just sent me some food. Didn't really need it, but appreciate it. But yeah, maybe on Arena, since there's stone walls, it's not that big a deal. And what excites me about this is I hope there's people who are going to try this. There's probably people who are going to despise me for uploading this video because for the next month, they're going to be facing up against this in 2v2s. But I'm really curious if you guys try this, how it works at your level, whatever level that might be. Resign! They won't resign. they don't want to call it. I'm completely pop-capped. My gold's looking good. I've got Elite Battle Elephant. I actually am missing the, what's it called, Tusk Swords upgrade. But yeah, trade's looking really good. We were lacking Siege here. Siege besides the Scorpions. And oh boy, Torment. Oh no. Ouchers. Ouch, that hurt. It is really satisfying to see Scorpions go down, even when it's my teammate. But okay, there's a Bombard Cannon. I think I was adding Siege Workshops over this side. And, oh, the offensive cow. Moo! Yeah, I was feeling good making that joke. Moo! That's right, moo them to death. Makes me want some milk. Need some milk after this. It's a crazy game. But yeah, 130 pop for Supreme Leader. Maybe they felt like I was going to upload this into some type of a YouTube video. But like, we can't stand this, you know. We're going to drag it on. They do have the walls up, right? So they can start thinking a little bit about trade, truthfully. But it's also on T90 and Torment to kick it up a notch here and win the game. You know, take that corner or completely lock down that corner and then slowly push in. And oh, that was a juicy bit of action there with the Scorpions against the Halbs. It does suck in post-Imperial with Britons. They're good in Feudal, they're good in Castle, they're good in early Imp, but post-Imp against Heavy Siege and Elephant Paladin, Britons can struggle. Well played from Wonder. I know that he won't be too happy to hear me say this as he's slowly dying, but I really was impressed with how he was able to micro some of his armies here. Because here, he's up against two people and better compositions. But Torment and I got to the spot we wanted to be in. Feeling pretty good. Finally taking out the castles. I think I also could have deleted Eco at this point. I have 46 on wood. Maybe deleting some of that would be good because I only have 28 military. Right? Probably deleting Lumberjacks would be a good move for me. The farms are going to last a while anyways. I want to keep those farms running, but... yeah, so let's talk about civs that can work well with this strategy. Let's say a map like Arena. It can give you a jump start with a massive boom, and oh boy! So Khmer's probably the best because of the faster castling, but I think, well, any civ really. Like, what if you go Teutons and you farm sling Spanish so they can get 2 conquistadors? That could be pretty sick. Spanish can go for an insane castle age time. Oh, these Scorpions are so satisfying. And watch this micro from Torment. Boink! Boinked it! Nice job, Torment. And, yeah, like a unique unit civilization could be pretty strong. You could do that with Burmese, too, because Burmese can make Arambai, which are beastly. And the Burmese player would never need to build a farm. Yeah, even if you want Celts, like, let's say you give Celts the farms, and then Celts can chop wood and have like 5 TC boom going. Now this is deceiving because you see it and you think, wow, that's really OP, and then you get in and you realize how much you have to click and how messy it can be. I really felt like I was starting to throw here because Nick sent in 10 Hussars and started raiding my farming eco, and I couldn't believe it. But the GG is called. And actually, not the GG. The G, the salty G, is called, and it worked. So I think what's exciting about this is the fact that it worked with But it worked as the underdogs, right? You combine the rating of Termit and I, we are well below 8th Wonder and Nick. It worked against strong players, and it worked in a situation where they expected it. Again, we played them 2 games prior. They were going full try hard. They destroyed myself and Dobbs, who told me, he's like, dude, you've got to upload that to YouTube. I can't believe it actually worked, because he messaged me a few days later. There's the food difference. Now, at some point, I had to invest into my own farms. The massive lead I took over my guy certainly helped out. And then the control of the corners was very important. But this is a strategy, even if it's sloppy, that can work well. And we might even see in tournaments in the future. Who knows? Props to Termint. If I was streaming this right now, I would ask people to salute him. But look at the massive lead we were able to take. Look at how fast that castle time was. For the average player who might struggle to get Castle Age and might only make it to 18 or 19 minutes castle times, even if you make that a 15-minute castle time, that's beastly, right? And also maybe it's a good team activity if you're struggling to work well with your teammates. I don't know. Or like you got a little brother who sucks at the game. You're like, hey, just build my farms. Okay, big bro. I don't know. Clearly, I don't have a younger brother because I would have done that. And we would optimize this, but Termint was there, and it worked out. So anyways, a little bit more on the unique side. I normally don't cast my own games. I normally don't cast strategies that I consider to be OP. Ha! What a good joke. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be reading your comments. You give me all your thoughts on the strategy. Maybe you feel like the players we were up against didn't execute properly. Maybe you feel like I'm overrating it. Maybe you don't like it, and maybe you think it should be removed. I don't know. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I do appreciate you guys watching. We're closing in on the holiday season. I don't know when I'm uploading this, but I'm really thankful for you guys, and stay safe out there. All right, guys? I'll see you with the next upload, whether that's a cast or a funky troll vid or a tournament. I'll see you next time.